Hello my dear students, in this lecture we are going to see one previous year GATE numerical which was asked in GATE 2015 for 2 marks on riveted joint. Now question is, a horizontal plate has been joined to a vertical post using 4 rivets arranged as shown in figure. The magnitude of load on the worst loaded rivet in Newton is. Now here, let us say there are 4 rivets are given. Now, let us say we will give names. Let us say this is rivet number 1. Let us say this is rivet number 1, rivet number 2, rivet number 3 and rivet number 4. Now, the distance between rivet number 2 and 3 this given as 40 mm and vertical distance is also 40 mm. Therefore, centroid G will lie at exactly center of these all rivets, and there is a eccentric load P which is of 400 Newton at an eccentricity of 500 mm from the G. Therefore, we can say eccentricity equal to 500 mm and applied load P is equal to 400 Newton. Therefore, this is the applied load and eccentricity is 500 mm. Now, this applied load we can directly put at centroid, but along with this force we have to put the moment created by this force, and this moment is created in clockwise direction which is nothing but torque acting at G. Therefore, we can put directly this force P which is of equal to 400 Newton as well as the torque created by this force which is nothing but torque is equal to P into E, right? This torque also we have to put. Therefore, because of this direct load, we can say because of this direct load P, there will be a primary shear load in all the bolts, that is PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4 in all the bolts, and because of this torque there will be secondary shear load, that is PS1 dash, PS2 dash, PS3 dash, PS4 dash in all the rivets or all the bolts, right? Now as it is riveted, therefore we can say in all the rivets, right, it is a riveted joint. But for calculation and each and every step for bolted joint is also same for eccentrically loaded bolted joint, right? Now let us solve this question. Therefore here I am considering these 4 rivets. If I consider only 4 rivets, let us go for the solution of this question. See, rivet are like this. These are the 4 rivets and the centroid will be at exactly center. Now this force P we can directly put on the centroid at the centroid which is of 400 Newton, and the moment created which is nothing but P into E. Here eccentricity is 500 mm and force is 400 Newton, right? This will be creating torque in clockwise direction which is nothing but torque is equal to T is equal to P into E, which is nothing but 500 into P is 400 into eccentricity is 500 mm, which is Newton mm. This is the torque where P is equal to 400 Newton. Now this distance, vertical distance, is given 40 mm between the two rivets. This distance is 40 mm. Horizontal distance is also 40 mm. Horizontal distance is also 40 mm, right? Now to balance this shear load, 400 Newton direct shear load, there will be a primary shear load in all the bolts. Let us say this is bolt number 1 or rivet number 1, rivet number 2, rivet number 3, rivet number 4. Therefore, equal and opposite PS1, there will be PS2, there will be PS3 and there will be PS4 to balance this total load. And these primary shear loads, that is PS1 is equal to PS2 is equal to PS3 is equal to PS4 is equal to total load divided by number of bolts or number of rivets, that is 4, right? That we have seen in previous lecture only. Here we are solving the numerical. Therefore primary shear load in all the rivets is equal to PS1 is equal to PS2 is equal to PS3 is equal to PS4, which is same. P is nothing but 400 divided by 4, which is nothing but 100 Newton. This is primary shear load in all the rivets acting in vertically upward direction. Now as well as to balance the clockwise torque of magnitude 400 into 500 Newton mm, there will be anti-clockwise torque acting on all the rivets. Now torque is nothing but perpendicular force into perpendicular distance. Now from G to rivet 1, this distance is called radius 1, right? And to this radius, if I draw perpendicular force to the radius, right, like this, and this force must create movement in anti-clockwise direction, then this force I will say ps1 dash, which is nothing but secondary shear load on rivet 1. Now this load is creating anti-clockwise torque to balance this clockwise torque. Similarly, on rivet 2, let an angle between them, is we can say theta 1, angle between ps1 and ps1 dash is theta 1. Now similarly, on rivet number 2, at distance radius, let us say r2, this radius is r2, there will be perpendicular to this radius, there will be a force acting in perpendicular direction to this radius, which must create anti-clockwise torque, therefore it is ps2 dash. Now this is perpendicular to radius, and angle between ps2 and ps2 dash is theta 2. Similarly, at rivet 3, the distance between rivet 3 and centroid is radius 3, r3, and if I draw perpendicular to this radius, which must create anti-clockwise torque, then it is ps3 dash, perpendicular radius, right? And angle between ps3 and ps3 dash is theta 3, this angle is theta 3. Now again similarly for fourth rivet, now distance between fourth rivet and centroid is r4, and perpendicular to this rivet, if I draw a force perpendicular to this rivet, this is ps4 dash, which is secondary shear load acting on rivet 4. The angle between them is theta 4, and at 3 there is a theta 3, right? Now, and for any two forces, the resultant is calculated. Let us say if I want to find resultant of bolt rivet 1, then on rivet 1 we can say there is ps1 dash and ps1 acting, and the resultant of ps1 dash and ps1 will be in between them. This will be p1, which is resultant of ps1 dash and ps1. Therefore we can say this p1 is equal to, resultant is nothing but under root of ps1 square plus ps1 dash square plus twice ps1 dash cos theta 1. As here we can say, as theta decreases cos theta will increase, as theta value decreases cos theta will increase, right? Therefore the resultant load will increase, therefore shear stress will increase. Therefore these bolts having minimum value of theta are called critically loaded, and question is to find the resultant load on critically rivet. Therefore look at the theta 1 and theta 2. Due to symmetry we can say theta 1 is equal to theta 2. Here due to symmetry we can say theta 1 is equal to theta 2, and theta 3 is equal to theta 4. Theta 3 is equal to theta 4. But definitely theta 1 and theta 2 are less than 90 degree, and theta 3 and theta 4 are more than 90 degree. Definitely we can say, we can check in diagram. Now therefore I can say theta 1 and theta 2 are minimum, therefore rivet 1 and rivet 2 are critically loaded, are critically loaded. Therefore we have to find load 1 or load 2. This is your question. Here this is your question. Now already we have calculated primary shear load on each and every bolt. Now let us find secondary shear load on each and every bolt, or let us say find on only one first bolt, right? Now to find secondary shear load, the formula is, if I want to find ps1 dash secondary shear load, it is kr1, where k is nothing but p into e divided by r1 square plus r2 square plus r3 square plus r4 square, right, into r1. This is a k value which is constant. If I want to find ps2 dash, it is nothing but kr2, ps3 dash is equal to kr3, and ps4 dash is equal to kr4. But we know that rivet 1 is critically loaded, therefore we will find ps1 dash only, because we have to find resultant load in critically loaded rivet only. Therefore let us go for calculation of PS1 dash. Now first of all we need to calculate R1 and R1, that is radius 1. Now see, this is the radius 1. Now can I say from center of rivet, this vertical distance and this horizontal distance, if I make a triangle here, see the distance between rivet 4 and rivet 1 is 40 mm. Therefore half distance will be 20. This distance will be 20, and the distance between rivet 1 and rivet 2 is 40 mm. Therefore this half distance will be again 20. Right, this is 20. Therefore for this right angle triangle, the height is, we can say here, height is 20, base is 20, and radius is R1 is hypotenuse. Therefore for this right angle triangle, can I say R1 is equal to under root of 20 square plus 20 square, which is nothing but 20 root 2 mm. Therefore we have calculated R1, and due to symmetry you can check for R2 also. See, for R2 this distance is 20 and height is 20. For R3 this distance is 20 and height is 20. For R4 also, we can say this distance is 20, height is 20, right? Due to symmetry we can say here R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R3 is equal to R4 is equal to 20 root 2. Now put these values in the equation. Therefore if I put these values in the equation, then I will get all are same. PS1 dash is equal to P into E into R1 divided by 4 times R1 square. Therefore PS1 dash is equal to P is 400 into E is 500 into R1 is 20 root 2 divided by 4 into 20 root 2 whole square. Now solve for PS1 dash, and if I solve this PS1 dash, I will get answer as 1767.6776, sorry, 0.766. You find this value Newton, this will be PS1 dash. Now again our target is to find theta 1 also. Therefore PS1 is equal to 100 Newton and PS1 dash is equal to 1767.766 Newton. Now we need theta 1 value. To find resultant load. Now let us consider in this diagram to for theta 1. See here, if I check this diagram here, as this triangle, if I consider this triangle over here, this triangle, in this triangle the base is 20 and height is 20. Let us say if I consider triangle, in this triangle height is 20 and base is also 20, right, for this triangle, and radius is R1. Therefore this angle must be 45 degree and this angle must be 45 degree, and angle of horizontal with vertical must be 90 degree. Therefore as this is 45 degree, this must be 45 degree, and this PS1 dash is perpendicular to R1. PS1 dash is perpendicular to R1. Therefore we can say between PS1 dash and PS1 the angle must be 45 degree. This angle must be 45 degree. Simple trigonometry. You can check here. See, there is a triangle. This is a triangle. For this triangle given here, this is radius R. This angle is 45 degree because this is 20. This is 20. This angle is 45 degree. Therefore, with vertical, the angle must be 45 degree. Now, for radius, if I draw perpendicular, now this line is perpendicular radius, right? Which is nothing but PS1 dash, and this is a PS1. Now, as this is perpendicular radius, already 45 is minus subtracted. Therefore, this will remain 45 degree. Therefore, theta 1 is equal to 45 degree. We can say. Therefore, put this theta 1 is equal to 45 degree in the equation. Therefore, we have calculated theta 1, which is nothing but theta 1 is equal to 45 degree. Therefore, resultant load on bolt 1 is equal to P is equal to under root of PS1 square plus PS1 dash square plus twice PS1 dash cos theta 1. Therefore put the values. Therefore P1 is equal to under root of PS1 is 100 square plus PS1 dash is 1767.766 square plus twice into 100 into 1767.766 cos 45. Therefore P1 you will find equal to, find this value, 1839.83 Newton, and this is your answer. In fill in the blanks you have to type this answer because they are asking in Newton. Thank you dear students. In next lecture we will see one more numerical on eccentrically loaded riveted joint.